Welcome to Paris.
So I took a solo backpacking trip to Paris this summer. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the things I did, the place I stayed, how much things cost, and the highlights from my trip.
Some objects might have shifted.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jet. On this channel, I talk about budget travel, solo travel, and all things related to budget-conscious traveling. So for my flight, I took a flight from Houston to Paris. Along the way, I stopped in 2 cities. So my first flight going from Houston to New York, I flew that one on Spirit. That flight cost me around $130, but luckily I had credit with Spirit, so I didn't have to pay anything for that flight. So that flight was basically free for me. Then my next flight, I flew from Stewart International Airport, which is located about an hour north of actual New York City. I had to catch a bus from New York up to Stewart International Airport. And then from there, I caught my flight over to, I don't know how to say this, I think it's Reykjavik in Iceland. And so I landed in Iceland. I had about an hour layover in Iceland. That was about a 6-hour flight. And then from there, I caught the next flight going over to Paris from Iceland. So once I landed in Paris, I landed in CDG Airport, and I caught the RER train from the airport down to like the center of the city. So once I got to the center of the city, I ended up catching the metro from the center of the city over to my neighborhood, Clichy. I got off at the Clichy station, and then once I got off, I had to walk and get to my Airbnb. So my Airbnb sent me the wrong address. I gotta walk 15 minutes from where I was supposed to go to make it to this house. So it's a little desk. This is a little pull-out bed, couch, TV, all that. It's a nice little view. The city. Little kitchen area, got a washer and dryer. I mean, it's a pretty nice Airbnb. When I was in Clichy, I felt very safe. I didn't feel like anything was, out of place or out of whack. There's stores and stuff close to me. There was a grocery store, I believe, right below me. So I was able to go down and get food that I needed and lasted for a while. So one of the main things that you have to do when you go to Paris, obviously, it's a very, very touristy thing to do, but you have to go see the Eiffel Tower. Out here in the middle of the road, in the middle of the road, Paris, I didn't know you can see the Eiffel Tower. There it is. That shit crazy, dog. And then I walked a little ways away from it, and I walked across the river. Every hour on the hour, the lights on the Eiffel Tower kind of light up. Seeing this for the first time, obviously, it's my first time in Paris, my first time in Europe. I'm by myself, and to be able to see, the Eiffel Tower in person after seeing it online for all these years and in videos and in books and in school, it was really amazing to see that. The next day, I went over to the Louvre Museum, head down towards the Louvre, go walk around it, go take some pictures and stuff. And then after I take my pictures, go actually inside. So inside the Louvre is like where the Mona Lisa is, all the famous artworks that are within France, they're all located in that museum. So I'm gonna check that out. When I got there early in the morning, maybe not super early, probably like 10 a.m. When I got there was a little line. You can obviously see it's a lot of people out here, but just seeing the Louvre, seeing the pyramids in the middle of the Louvre and all of that, it was just really cool. Now, the line for the Mona Lisa is crazy. Like, I don't understand why the line is so ridiculous. I guess I do understand, it's the Mona Lisa, but at the end of the day, it was just a painting and you can't even get like right next to it. This is about as close as I got. I got some videos, got some pictures, and then I moved on and was just walking around the rest of the Louvre. Now, the Louvre is huge. It is huge. It's almost impossible to get through it is impossible to get through the entire thing in one day. I was walking around just like one wing of the Louvre, and that took me about 4 hours. And that's because I wasn't even stopping to read everything. I was just stopping and looking at pictures and moving along and taking my pictures. And if you do plan on going to the Louvre, you definitely gonna have to plan for some hours in there. And like I said, you're not even gonna be able to get through all of it. It was probably one of the best museums I've ever been to. And that's expected because, like I said, this is a world-renowned museum. So a lot of people come to Paris just to view this museum. I went to this place called Arc de Triomphe. Once I got over there, you could see people in the street lining up to take a picture in front of it. And so we're in the middle of the street. So there's a line in the middle of the street that you have to stand in. And once you get to the front, you're able to get your picture taken or take your own picture, whatever. So I was there by myself. Obviously, I couldn't take my own picture with my camera. So what I did is the people standing behind me, I was just like, hey, can y'all take a picture? They didn't speak no English, but I grabbed my camera and I was like, so they know what I was trying to do. So they grabbed my camera for me. They took a picture of me. I got these pictures of myself in front of the Arc de Triomphe. You can go inside of the Arc de Triomphe and go up to the top.
So try to go to the top. This line is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I need to go to the top. I gotta get pictures on Paris. It's probably the best spot.
They have a spiral staircase that goes up to the top. So you walk all the way up this spiral staircase.
You gotta be in shape for this shit.
So once you get to the top, you can see the Eiffel Tower from one end of it. You go to the other end of it, you can see the the business district, and then you can just look around and see everything else within the city. You can see the Sacré-Cœur from up there. So it's great. I would highly recommend, especially if you want to go get some good photos. This picture right here, that picture right there, that is from Paris. That's from the Arc de Triomphe, and so that's the view that you get of the Eiffel Tower from the top of there. So like I said, it's really good if you want to go get some good pictures. I would highly suggest going to Arc de Triomphe. You'll have a good time when you go. Another major thing inside of Paris is the Sacre Couer. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but when I went to the Sacre Couer, it's located like really high up on a hill. So as you're walking up, there's like little shops and stuff in front of it. But once you walk up, there's like a carousel. You can see this carousel right here, and then you walk up to it, and it's a basilica. I didn't get to go inside. I think at the time that it was closed, we weren't able to go inside. I don't remember specifically, but I walked around the area. I got great pictures of it. The time I went towards the middle of the day, so it was packed. There was a lot of people. So if you want to go up there and kind of be away from people and not have so many people around, I would suggest going earlier in the morning when there's not as many people there. So after I viewed the basilica, I walked behind there and just walked the neighborhood in that area. So Sacre Couer is in the 18th arrondissement. I don't know how to say that right. Y'all gonna kill me if you're French and you know how to say it. But the 18th arrondissement, and I just walked around that entire neighborhood for a while and just looked at, the architecture, the different buildings. I went into some shops. I went into, stores in that area just so I could see what that area was like. One of the experiences I had, I walked into a grocery store. I was just trying to get like some water, and, knowing no French, and the people in that area, especially in those stores, they don't speak any English. So I'm in there just trying to like communicate. And that was one of the fun things, because it was my first time ever being in a foreign country. It's really cool just to see the architecture in Paris, especially if you've never been there. That was one of my favorite things. I'm really in love with architecture. So walking around the 18th arrondissement and just seeing everything that was over there, that was really cool. So I would suggest just going to walk around places too. If you don't go to the 18th arrondissement, at least go to some neighborhood in Paris and just walk around for a minute, get lost, and just enjoy the architecture and the things that are within that city. So those are the major things that I did when I was in Paris. I didn't necessarily go out anywhere at nighttime because my main purpose of going to Paris was just to go view the touristy things that were within the city. And so I did that. I saw most of the major things you can see: the Eiffel Tower, Sacre Couer, the Louvre, Arc de Triomphe. So seeing all those things, it was really cool just to go experience that for the first time. Now, Paris as a city, it wasn't necessarily my favorite city now that I've traveled to other places. But like I said, going there for your first time and seeing all that, if you've never been to Paris, it is a cool experience. And I would suggest going to Paris to see that. Now, would I go back and do those same things again? Probably not. Because once you've seen it one time, for me, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but for me, seeing it one time was cool enough. Now, when I do go back to Paris, because I will be back eventually, I am going to try to go out and experience the nightlife a little more and just experience the different things that Paris has to offer. But as far as the touristy things in Paris and just going as a solo trip by myself, and the only thing I took was my backpack. I didn't take anything else with me. So I would be able to move around much easier and not have to pay for my luggage whenever I was catching connecting flights to other places in Europe. So it was cool. And after I left Paris, I ended up catching a flight from CDG over to Venice, Italy. So in my next video, I'm gonna be talking about what I did while I was in Venice, Italy. The place that I stayed in a little island called Lido, which is right outside of Venice. So I'll be talking about that in my next video. But for Paris, I had a great time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, you found any information helpful from this video, please please subscribe to my channel. It helps if you support my channel, if you share this video with somebody. Turn on the notifications for this video. It'll be very helpful to my channel and to me as well, because I want to continue making these type of videos, especially for people who are solo traveling, or you're trying to travel and save some money or not spend as much money in the places that you go to. So that's all I got for Paris. Hopefully y'all like this video. Like I said, if you have anything you would like for me to talk about in my next video, or places that you want me to visit, or things that you want me to touch on, I will gladly do that. Just leave a comment. I engage with everybody in my comments. So till the next one, peace.